It brings me no pleasure to go through what I'm about to go through with you. Actually, it's rather infuriating that this thing keeps happening. Tragedy keeps happening. Again, a deranged trans person was, instead of being given actual medical mental help for their condition, they were instead glorified and enabled and told that you actually could change your gender and potentially pumped full of mind-altering drugs, and then goes on to carry out another mass shooting. This time it happened in a remote part of British Columbia in Canada called Tumbler Ridge. This was a school shooting. 9 people were killed. 7 either at the school or in transport to the hospital. And then they said 2 at a home nearby. 25 people wounded. And the suspected gunman, I have to say alleged, but the dude, also dead from a self-inflicted gunshot. So then committed, I don't know what is the YouTube friendly way to say that. I think you get like dinged if you say that word, but he offed himself. Now, one thing as we navigate through this is just terrible, like just awful, awful, awful. My heart goes out to the family, the parents of these children, but it's rather infuriating as parents are having to deal with the loss of their children. That people, as members of the public, specifically the Canadians who potentially are affected by this and they're trying to find out answers, you can't nail down the identity of the suspect. You can't even nail down like what gender this person was. And that's when you immediately know, right? Like when you are asking these questions and you have members of the police force, law enforcement, government officials who are very careful that they don't use any pronouns, and you're like, all right, I already know what this is. I already know what this is, because you don't want to admit that the thing that we keep saying is happening. So you got to be real careful how to navigate, how you speak about the person. You don't want everyone to know, a trans person committed another mass shooting. Add it to the entire bucket of times where trans people have committed mass shootings because there's something going on up here that you're not addressing. And so the media, the first key to this is when the media just started asking police. They were having a press conference trying to give details, and they were asking about the death toll numbers. The police, you'll notice a very interesting expression was used when talking about this guy.
That includes the deceased gun person.
Oh, hold on. Never heard that before. You probably haven't either. You probably have never heard law enforcement say, can we hear that one more time, please?
That includes the deceased gun person.
The deceased gun person. I mean, you wouldn't want to offend a dead murderer by dead naming him. Like that's what these people are concerned about in the aftermath of this type of massacre. They don't want to offend the dead murderer. Have to say gun person. You don't want to say gunman or gunwoman. We don't know which one we should say. So we're just going to say gun person. Now, it got weirder than that because there was an alert sent out that the person who was involved in this mass shooting was a person in a dress. A person in a dress with brown hair was what they said. And it took a very, very long time for anyone to confirm the identity. Police don't want to do it. It's just a gun person. You fill in your own holes there. What does it matter? At this point, they're Hillary Clinton on the Benghazi hearing. At this point, what difference does it make? Now, the liberal media, being the liberal media, they just ran with the dress narrative. It's a female identified as a suspect. It's a female suspect. 10 dead, including female suspect. It must be a female. Oh, it's a female. Actually, the lie detector has determined that was a lie. Multiple outlets in Canada have confirmed that this is transgender suspect Jesse Strang. This is the Tumbler Ridge shooter. They spoke to a family member, Juno News did, and they confirmed it. The Daily Mail has now confirmed it. As of the time of this taping, I'm sure many other outlets have confirmed it. And so now we know it's Jesse Strang. Jesse Strang, this, I think we have some pictures of, yeah. Oh, great. So that's what you need is a mentally ill person holding a giant weapon. That always ends well, right? Especially when you pump substances into that person that may cause, I mean, we're basically experimenting with an entire generation with these drugs, right? So yeah, that's not alarming at all. Also not alarming at all is some Reddit posts that this guy posted, several years ago. This is like 3 years ago. How do I stop comparing myself to fictional characters? And this is in the male to female transitioning Reddit community. So I'm trans, male to female. I'm pre-HRT, 15 years old, and I've been viewing a lot of anime-related content recently. Was never into it before. The characters are always so cute. I don't want to be 2D or anything like the characters themselves, but when it comes to their body shape and stuff, I often find myself comparing their semi-unrealistic, yet still physically possible shape, specifically when it comes to height, BMI, and obviously their chesticles. I'm super skinny, so that sometimes makes me feel kind of good, but I'm pre-HRT and my expectations are minimal for chest growth, and I'm 6 feet tall. Why can't I be petite and small? 'Cause you're a dude. It's like, 'cause you're a dude, that's why. Side note, if you know of anywhere I should go to get into watching anime, that'd be nice. Never watched it before. Now, this is the craziest thing is that this post was dug up again because Matt Walsh actually posted this on his Twitter account 3 years ago as an example of how anime is brainwashing kids. And he said, hate to say I told you so. And he was like called out for it because he posted someone's, account. Oh, this is harassment because he posted a screenshot of what someone said on Reddit. And then, of course, he responded to that and was like, I once again hate to say I told you so. That anime is destroying children and that enabling someone's delusion in the trans world is going to continue to lead to mass shooters. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, guys. And I get called all sorts of names. I get called a transphobe. I get called a homophobe. I get called like all the phobes. Apparently I am. And the fact of the matter is, the people who are willing to stand up and say, you guys are actually harming these children. We are miles away from being any sort of phobic. I'm not transphobic. I pity these people who are told these things. These delusions are enabled by these mental health professionals who are actually mentally ill themselves. They're being pushed into this. Their parents are being told, as with the case of my friend Chloe Cole, their parents are being told, if you don't actually affirm this, they're going to kill themselves. They're going to off themselves. And you're going to be the cause of that, mom and dad. Do you want a child that's alive, living as a different sex and gender, or do you want a dead child? I mean, the moment that we as a society stop enabling that, stop glorifying that, stop telling people they can be something that they're never going to be, it's never going to live up to their expectations. They're always going to be depressed. They're always going to have problems. They're always going to be insecure because you're not treating the actual issue. If we can just start as a society to treat these people more humanely, other people's children could maybe, I don't know, have a chance at not dying in one of these mass shootings with trans people involved. Or non-binary. I'm sorry. There were a couple that are non-binary. Guys, this doesn't have to be this way. Parents shouldn't have to worry. Parents should never have to worry that they send their children to school and then they could potentially get murdered. But this is such an easy thing to fix. How many more children have to die before we finally decide that this experimentation that you're doing with an entire generation is a bad idea. This is just one in a long list now of these shootings. It's Denver, Aberdeen, Nashville, Iowa, Minneapolis, Colorado Springs, and now this place in Canada. It enrages me because it doesn't have to, like, this is a choice that society is making, a choice in which I have never had a part of. And I get called all of the insults, all of the names, because I refuse to stand by and watch these people just get harmed, get pushed into this lifestyle that is not good for literally anybody. It's not good for the people around them. Because now, other people's children who had nothing to do with it are with God. And it doesn't have to be this way.